Good morning. We have heard the word diversity in diverse fashions. We are always saying that diversity is the strength of any nation. And in case diversity is the strength of any nation, of any country, as India, Canada, USA pride themselves on the diversity, then isn't ISIS strong because of its diversity? Today, if we look at the base of the ISIS, we would be shocked to know that possibly is the most diverse organization or a government, as they claim themselves to be, or a country. As a matter of fact, the diverse base of ISIS would put any country to shame that prides itself on being diverse. And not only that, the base of the country and the forces of that country are usually presumed to be illiterate, uneducated, and those who belong to the lowest strata of society. Nothing can be farther from the truth. If we look at the reality and see the makeup of the forces of ISIS, we would be convinced that these forces are much highly educated. There are MAs, BAs, PhDs, MBAs who are fighting for and on behalf of ISIS. There is not a country in the world which has not contributed to ISIS. Canadians, about 150 odd Canadians are fighting for ISIS. Of course, undeniably the maximum number of foreigners fighting for ISIS is from Saudi Arabia, then Tunisia, Yemen, England, USA, France, Germany, India. Name a country and you would find its representation in the ISIS Hall of Nations. And as I said earlier, they are highly educated. As a matter of fact, it's only 15% of the people who are not highly educated, who left the school at an early time. Now comes the question about the economic stature. It is often said that the people disgruntled with their present lives go there and fight for them. Nothing can be farther from the truth. People who have been very well established, like the colonel in Fort Hood, they are devoted to Al-Qaeda and to ISIS. The question is, why does it happen? Why is it that a presumably terrorist organization is able to make such a diverse base and draw on the strengths of highly educated people? Have you ever given it a thought? Is a sort of a commitment that those people are offering. Now again, it's not exactly the religious fervor that is motivating the people to join ISIS. As a matter of fact, it is hardly about 20% of the people who are really committed to be martyrs. the hope of going to heaven with 72 virgins is limited to just 1/5 of the total fighting force. Then what is that which tempts the young, the educated, and reasonably well-placed people to this horrible organization that is creating havoc all over, which USA, Russia, everybody combined has not been able to exterminate till today? It is the hope. They give hope of a better life. They give a hope of a more egalitarian society. Right or wrong, that's immaterial. You see, what happens is most of the people who join ISIS do not join ISIS because of their love for it. They join ISIS as a sort of a reaction to the present system that prevails in these countries. Some are tempted by greed, money, yes. Some are tempted by the hope of having a eternal stay in heaven with 72 virgins and all the luxury of the world, yes. Some of them are motivated by the sex, the number of the sex slaves, yes. But essentially, if you look at it, whatever the reason may be, it's a reaction to the existing situation. The existing law and order, the existing societal system, the existing governmental system does not make people happy. And when the people are not happy, the search for happiness can take very bizarre routes. And going to ISIS is one of those bizarre routes. I said one. Some people go and start taking drugs. Some become psychopaths. Some become criminals. Some try to adjust. But it's like a level field of the water. And whenever there's a small breach, the water started doing that. Now ISIS came at a time when all around there was an aura of reaction. And they could sell some hope. You see, internationally, when the people go to one organization to fight for them, this is because that organization or that situation gives them some different atmosphere, a different milieu, a different environment. Right or wrong, I'm not going into the normative aspect of it. I'm going into the realistic aspect of it. You remember that when the Spanish Civil War took place, and General Franco reacted against that, practically people from all over the world flocked to Spain to fight in the Civil War. About 400 Canadians went there and died in that Civil War. Ernest Hemingway went and fought in that. People from Middle East went there. People from all over the world have gone there. And if people from all over the world have gone there in the Spanish Civil War and fought, how do you feel that they will not fight here? The same happened earlier when the Communist Revolution took place in Russia. Russia opened its door for the immigrants for the only purpose to train them and send them back to their countries. So all the hopefuls went to Russia to train and come back. And the result was Che Guevara and Fidel Castro and others. or Mao's in India, for example, CPML. So whenever something new emerges, when something gives a different flavor to life, then that leads some enchantment. ISIS was a reaction to the US forces, directly and indirectly, intervening at the time of Kuwait, intervening at the time of Spring, so-called Arab Spring, when they encouraged downfall of Hosni Mubarak and others, interference in Libya, interference in Iraq, interference in Syria. And then some manipulative persons thought, okay, this is a good time to establish and give a different direction. And ISIS came into being. Now coming home, why is it that the Canadians want to go there? The videos of the Canadians burning the Canadian passports, taking over AK-47 and then flaunting their Canadian identity and their loyalty to ISIS. Is it because of ISIS? Yes and no. Canadians have a history of fighting. Others wars where they are not involved. In 1884 and 85, they had gone to fight in Middle East, where the Mahdi came into being. They fought in the First World War and the Second World War, but that was as a part of the Allies. They had not gone as mercenaries, or they had not gone as volunteer soldiers. But as I said earlier, they went to the Spanish War as volunteer soldiers, and more than 400 people died there. They've even participated in the American Civil War. They were in favor of abolishing the slavery and supported North against the South. They did not go in Vietnam because Vietnam was not holding any different atmosphere for them. That was a local war. They did not go into Korea except as a part of the UN team. But they did go to other places. As I said earlier, the outstanding ones are Middle East. Outstanding one is Spanish Civil War, and so on. Until and unless we can show a different way and build a protective wall, not of bricks, but of thoughts, the lure of the siren, and here the siren is ISIS, shall continue. We have to protect the youth. Do you know, by the way, again, if you look at the age factor, age groups of ISIS, you'll be amazed that the majority are below the age of 24. But then there are people as old as 70 participating and fighting that war. So right from the age of 12 to 70, what a span. So until and unless you can project that this alternative is not an appropriate alternative, until and unless you can show the reality and knock the bottom out of the diversity, ISIS would continue to gain strength, continue to draw on fresh reserves of manpower, which is highly talented, highly educated, and also highly diverse. Let's see what the governments can do.